Good.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you everybody for coming out tonight. Really appreciate everybody's time. To kick off this presentation, give you guys a little bit about myself, a little bit of the background. My name is Billie Paquette. I'm from Dover, New Hampshire. Just recently moved to Dover into a new house. Loving it. I have a background in healthcare. Been working in healthcare for about almost 7 years now. It's really where I found my passion in life, was to help people out with their health. It is assisted living, so I've been able to see a lot of the aging process and what health, how health is so important for people. And through that process is where I've really developed that purpose. And prior to that, I've been surrounded by entrepreneurs my whole life, people that have been wildly successful, that have set their own schedule, decided what they were worth in life. And that's something that I always wanted, just seeing their lifestyles and growing up with them and hanging out with them and seeing that, money never really controlled them. That's something I've wanted since a young age, and that's something I've always chased. So back when I was in my late teens, one of my buddies, Matt, moved to downtown Portsmouth. He moved into a new house, and he wanted my help to move into the house. And he moved in with 2 other guys, and one of the guys' name was Jordan. And me and Jordan built up this friendship. We started hanging out all the time, and he was someone that I really looked up to at the time because he was an entrepreneur. Like I said, I had been surrounded by entrepreneurs, so whenever an entrepreneur comes around, you kind of latch onto them a little bit. And he was 24 years old at the time, and he was self-made, and he didn't have a boss, and he was calling his own shots in life. It was very inspiring. And I come to find out, I knew what he was making as a horseshoer, and that's kind of something that really drew me even a little bit closer. So as that process of me and Jordan started hanging out all the time, I was buying and selling cars. I was moving up the ladder, and I pulled in his driveway driving a Mercedes-Benz one night, and it really caught Jordan's eye. And he was like, "Dude, where'd you get this Mercedes-Benz?" I said, "Listen, I've been buying and selling cars since I was 16. He said, "That's unbelievable. How much money do you owe on the car?" And I said, "I don't owe any money. I bought this out cash." And he goes, "That's unbelievable." And so me and Jordan started talking. He goes, "Listen, man, I know you're only 19 years old. We're launching a business, and we'd love to take you under our wing. We'd love to work with you." And that's something I was kind of skeptical at the time because, believe it or not, I just, when an opportunity comes around, I feel like a lot of people think it's too good to be true, and, why me? So eventually Jordan invited me to a meeting to get some information. And finally, after blowing him off a couple times, he followed up with me and finally got me to the meeting. And that's why I'm excited to stand in front of you guys tonight, because if you're here to learn about the products, or here to learn about the business, or just here to learn about whatever, this is an educational process, and hopefully by the end of this presentation you learn something that could really benefit you. So back in my late teens, when I went to that presentation, I was shown an investigative report. If you haven't seen that video, I highly recommend it, because working in healthcare, I've seen a lot of the aging process. And if you have a preventative standpoint to the aging process, it's very, very important, because really people don't want to age faster, they want to age slower. So in that video that really caught my eye, I started to learn about what was called oxidative stress. And when I heard stress and oxidative, I kind of related it to a car of rusting. We all live here in New England, and we're all very familiar with the rust. You throw a piece of metal out, you come back after the 4 seasons, it starts to rust. That's exactly what happens inside of our body when we hit the age of 20. Our body's own defense system can't fight off the rust. That's what's creating oxidative stress. So when I watched that video, I was so excited, because I was thinking to myself when I was watching that, I go, I'm working in healthcare. I know a lot of people that this could benefit. And then in the back of my mind too, I'm like, wow, if there's a business standpoint with this is something that could be magical. So after seeing that presentation and getting the information, I got really excited, and the next day I actually launched my business. So that's what I'm going to go over with you guys tonight, is just share what got me really excited. It may or may not be a fit for you, but like I said, from working in healthcare, these are some products that could really help you out from a preventative standpoint. I've seen it happen. My sister, my mom, literally my whole entire family has benefited from the product. So first I'm going to cover these 6 key components. And these components are really important when you're looking at any business opportunity. Obviously, you want a really good company. You don't want someone running the ship that doesn't really know what they're doing, or doing things that might be shady. And what's cool about our company is that we're actually publicly traded. So this is our stock ticker. So when I first got involved, one of the first things I did was go up to investors, go up to people that had been very successful, not my 19-year-old friends, people that had made a lot of money, and I said, I need you to look into this company. And since it was publicly traded, they could look at all the finances, everything that was happening in the company. So what was really cool is, one, they all started buying stock, and they also told me that the company was doing very well, and they also knew from a product standpoint how big of a breakthrough Protandim was. So what's really unique about this company is that Protandim was actually started to be sold in GNC stores from 2003 to 2009. You literally could have went into a GNC store and bought the product, right? And I'm someone that used to go into GNC stores a lot. Nowadays I don't, because a lot of things are e-commerce. You can literally order everything online. So we were selling it in the GNC stores. No one knows about oxidative stress. So the bottle kind of was just sitting on the shelf. We were doing about $3.5 million a year when we were selling the Protandim in the stores, right? So in 2005, we got aired on ABC. ABC wanted to do an investigative report. We made a claim about reducing oxidative stress. So ABC says, if that's true, we'll do a T-bar test where we'll show John Quignonia's actual age and how high his oxidative stress levels, and take it for 2 weeks and see if Protandim can do anything, right? So when that aired and those test results came back, they came back very positive. And the thing about ABC, and I very well understood this at a young age, is that it was an investigative report. It could have worked out not in our favor because it was real, it was on the point, it was live, right? We did $5 million overnight when people were educated, right? So everybody wanted it. But if we're doing $3 million a year, we can't shoot out $5 million worth of product, okay? So in 2009, they decided to switch their business model to word of mouth, network marketing. A lot of people might have a preconceived notion in a good way or in a bad way, but the thing is about network marketing is that we're all doing it every single day. We went to this, in this restaurant right now, Mount Vernon, right? Did I say that right? And it was phenomenal. And JoJo was like, are you going to eat some of this food? And, I was like, maybe I'll save my money. And she, had 2 big porks, and she gave me one of her porks, and I ate it, and it was phenomenal. Now I'm going to tell everyone in the South Boston area about this restaurant. But the thing is that I'm not getting paid to go do that. I just had a really good experience, and I want to go out and share it. So right there is a process of marketing something where you're not getting paid. So we decided to put it into network marketing because people can take this product and go out and talk about it and share their experience and make money with it. Or people can take the product and just benefit from a preventative standpoint, right? So in doing that business model of sharing the products in the business, we did $11 million that first year, showing that ABC investigative report, getting the information out there, letting people partner with the company if they'd like, and having exclusive rights to Protandim, a product where a guy spent his whole life studying an enzyme, being the discoverer of that enzyme, creating it into a product where he could benefit people's health. Now, as a distributor, you have exclusive rights to all that years of science and time, effort, and energy he put into the product, right? So we started going out and sharing the business and the product. We did $11 million that first year. The second year, we did $38 million. And I'm going to jump all the way to this year, last year. This year, we closed out at $200 million. So obviously a big jump from selling it in the stores and doing about $3 million to going out and sharing the product in the business model. We're doing around $200 million. And what's also really cool about it is that we're not only just a Protandim product anymore that's reducing oxidative stress. We're more than that. We're a nutrigenomics company, because as time rolled out, we found out that Protandim and some of these other products that we had were benefiting people from a lot of different standpoints. So now we're in the nutrigenomics world. So what that is taking nutrition and how it affects our gene expression, right? And when we take nutrigenomics and how it's affecting our gene expression, we're actually biohacking the aging code. And what we came to find out after a lot of studies, so what's cool about the company is that there's a place called pubmed.gov. This is the National Library of Medicine. This is where the real research happens. This is where your doctor's doing research. This is where people that are going to school to become a doctor, they all go to pubmed.gov. One of the first people I went and saw was a nurse. named Nicole. And I said, Nicole, where do you go to do your research? And she goes, I go to PubMed.gov. And that's the National Library of Medicine. So when she started researching this product and started finding out our peer-reviewed studies, it really started to open up her eyes and made me invalidated what I was doing. So what one of those studies says on there is that Protandim actually extends lifespan by 7%. So like I was saying, we're biohacking the aging code, and we're also have a product that can extend lifespan proven on the National Library of Medicine by 7%. So that's about 4.5 to 5 years for a human being. So that's pretty amazing. So that's a little bit about the company. Also, what's really cool is that we're the sponsorship of RSL, a Major League Soccer team. So soccer is actually the biggest sport in the world. A lot of people watch it. I'm a huge football fan. We live in New England. We like to win, like the Patriots, right? But soccer is actually the biggest sport in the world, and everybody's watching it, right? So what's cool is that on the front of these soccer RSL, on the front of their jerseys, it says LifeVantage. So what that does is it constantly brands the company. People constantly hear about it, right? So that gives the company a lot of recognition. It brands. People start to see it all the time. What's also cool from a company standpoint is that our CEO and our CSO have over 20 years experience, or 25 years each experience in network marketing. The guy that took this from retail to network marketing, no previous experience, but helped get it up to 200 million. That's where we plateaued. So if you go to Yahoo Finance and see our years and our financial record, you'll see where we hit a wall. And that's where it's really important to have people with experience, because the guy named Darren Jensen and Justin Rose have experience, so they're leading the ship and teaching us the right way. And some of the stuff they've since they've came in, some of the stuff they've done has drastically helped the company. We've opened in new countries, more products, apps that you can literally run your whole business from. So that makes it easier, and they made it a lot more simple. What's also really cool is, I'll cover in the system part, is that we have an awesome training platform. Like myself, I've never done network marketing, no previous experience with owning a business. So we're taking just average people, doesn't matter your age, your education, or your background, and teaching them this system through the company that's helping them be successful no matter where they're at in life, which is amazing. So that's a little bit about the company. Just going to cover a little bit on the products too. So like I talked about, we have Protandim Nerf 2. Something that we found out is that Protandim Nerf 2 was affecting our gene expression. So we also came out with a product called Protandim Nerf 1. So every cell in your body has what's called the mitochondria part of the cell. And that's where you get all your energy. That's where you get your good sleep. That's where you get your muscle recovery. So that's obviously a very important part of the cell. So we came out with a product that formulates and targets mitochondria energy, right? So that's Protandim Nerf 1. So we have the Nerf 1 and then the Nerf 2. Then we also have a skincare regimen. As we suffer from free radical damage within our cells, our skin every day, when you get hit by the sun, air, everything that touches your skin is making your skin age faster. So we have a skincare regimen that's targeted towards slowing down the aging process within your skin. What's also amazing product. Something else is that everyone was taking Protandim and giving it to their dogs, giving it to their cats. Or like Jordan, my enroller, he's a horseshoer. His family was giving it to horses and seeing drastic results. So we came out with Pet Tandem, so we can give it to your pets, because pets actually have 7 times more oxidative stress. They age 7 times faster. So now we have a product that can slow down the aging process for our animals, which is amazing. Something also is that a $1 billion industry is the energy drinks. People are drinking like Red Bull and Monster. These are stuff that's not really doing the best things for our body over time. You might get that short burst of energy, but what you're doing from the inside standpoint, or your brain either, is not the greatest thing. So we came up with a thing called Axio. You mix it with water. And that's another thing that we want to be doing, is drinking lots of water, because our body's mainly made up of water. So Axio, you mix with water, no sugar, no preservatives, gluten-free, non-GMO, and it's super good for the brain. I do a lot of volume in my business just through Axio, and you don't really hear a lot about a healthy energy drink. I really don't see it as an energy drink because it's a powder you mix with water, but essentially that's what it is. Is that rolling over there? Awesome. So also is another huge billion-dollar industry is weight loss. So we came out with about 2 years ago with Physique. It's a smart weight management. We've seen awesome results with people using this. It's a cleanser, it's a fat burner, it's a probiotic, and a protein, a 4-step process that you use to slowly take off the weight. Some people lose weight very quickly. What's cool about the fat burner too, it's a really potent, powerful, healthy fat burner that's citrus-based, so it's burning the fat in a healthy way. And what's unique about the cleanse is that it's cleansing our body. A lot of stuff that we're eating and consuming within our body is not the greatest, right? So this has helped cleansing your body and get rid of that bad stuff. And the probiotic is huge. Probiotics is a massive industry because a lot of stuff that we're consuming in our stomach over time can create bad health issues, right? So this is essentially, the probiotic is helping with protecting your gut health, right? So that's very important. The protein's amazing. Casein and whey. 12 grams of protein doesn't seem like a lot, but it's a very effective protein. And there's some other stuff that we have that you can add to make add a little bit more. If you're like myself, I use 2 scoops to get as much protein after the gym. So very helpful in that way. And then our last one, or no, that's it. That's a little bit about our products. And if you look at each product, energy drinks, billion-dollar industry. Weight management, billion-dollar industry. Supplement and antioxidant industry, $68 billion. If you combine this all together, it's over $500 billion. And nutrigenomics was set on TV by 2020. It's going to be a $600 billion industry. So we have these massive industries, and we have cutting-edge products on each one of those industries. That is huge to be able to partner with a company and have exclusive rights and be able to build a business in your backyard or all throughout the country or in multiple countries. So very unique. So that's a little bit about the company, the product, something to think about in trends when looking at any business opportunity is that, you know, what is something that I can get involved with and get very passionate in something that's just not going to go away right away. Because if we were sitting up here talking about beepers, there would be no trend there. But we're talking about health, right? This is something that is never going to go away. So if you have a product and a service that people are taking and seeing huge benefits, they're going to want to keep ordering it because they're seeing such drastic results in their health. I know that my mom, my sister, my family, many different family members have been drastically impacted by this product. And that's a trend that's never going to go away to do with someone's health. You could be massively rich, but if you have poor health, you can't even enjoy that money. So health is the number one thing you want to worry about. Another thing is wealth, is that 2/3 of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, literally looking for a better way. So just going out and sharing this business model, and it's not for everybody, but the people that you go out and share it with that can benefit, you could literally change their life because, like I said, 2/3 of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, looking for a better opportunity, looking for more out of life. 95% of Americans can't even retire. So what's cool about these products, and like I said, from a trend standpoint, me and my best friend Amy build this business out. We've signed up customers 4 years ago. To this day, her parents are still taking product. From a residual income standpoint, that is huge because you want to do the work once and get paid off the life of it. So if you have something that they keep ordering, you're building that residual income. So we can really tap into that 95% of Americans that can't retire, right? So it's really important. So the trends are covered massively. Another thing that's huge is timing. In business, we always want to be first. You don't want to be late. I'm sure all of us are aware of this cryptocurrency that's going on. It's erupted, right? If you were to got in the beginning of that, you'd be probably not sitting here watching this webinar or seeing this video because you would have made a lot of money. So you can just attest to how important timing is in business. So I'm going to go over some other companies that we might have seen that we've missed, and you can kind of relate LifeVantage to this and see, is this on the upward trend of where those companies went? So all these companies invest time and money and go through what's called the valley of death. Just like this restaurant. At one point they started, invested a bunch of money, and went through the valley of death because no one knew about the restaurant. So they had to get out there and talk about it. They had to have a bunch of people at the restaurant, let them try the food, and constantly be promoting it. So they went through it. 95% of businesses fail because they invest millions of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars and they don't make it through the valley of death. So if you're in business and you make it through it, you're part of the 5%. Then you get your break-even point, and then once this starts to really happen, you're starting to create what's called momentum. And when momentum happens, you start to go through what's called critical mass and branding. So I'll go over some companies that have gone through the critical mass and branding, but when a company goes through that, that's where 80% of the momentum is made. That is a huge, massive swing that happens. It happens once, it happens very quickly. What are some companies that have gone through it, that have stabilized, that you can invest in and collect the 2 to 7% growth? You have Microsoft, you have Facebook, you have Google, you have companies that are in the same industry as us, like Mary Kay and Amway and Herbalife. These are billion-dollar companies, right? So you can invest in any one of these companies and collect the 2 to 7% growth, but to buy one Google share, say, that's $1,000. So people that usually invest in these companies have already made it. They have a lot of money, so they can buy one share of Google or whatnot. So in network marketing, the companies that have stabilized usually have 1 to 5 million people going out and talking about the company's products and service, right? So 1 to 5 million people, so that's quite a bit of people. But if you really think about it, it's not, because there's 330 million people in the United States alone. So just 1 to 5 million really create that billion-dollar company and puts them into stabilization. Okay, so the DSA oversees all these companies, and they said, well, when's the sweet spot? When's the hot time to join these companies? They said if you can get in on the first 500,000 distributors, you stand at a cutting-edge opportunity, because you have millions up here that are stabilized, and 500 is about halfway through that momentum phase. Then they go on to say if you can get in on the first 135,000 distributors, you stand at a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, because you can capture 80% of that company's growth. I got very excited when I saw that, because I understood that even if it takes me time to develop the skills and what it takes in business to get this thing going, I knew that it was going to take some time to go through that critical mass and branding. Now each day that goes by nowadays with these people, the CEOs that are leading the ship, we're getting there quicker. But it just allows the average person to get involved and capture that 80%. So how many distributors do we have right now in LifeVantage? Roughly 60 to 80,000, roughly, active distributors. And another small percentage is what is pushing that growth. A lot of people might get involved and get really excited, but they don't put in the work. Just like in any workplace, you have those workers that are really good, and then you have, just like college, you have a lot of kids that start college and don't finish college, right? Just to kind of relate, that's life, right? But right now we have a strong group that is really starting to push this company in the right direction. So 60 to 80,000, so that puts us right about here. So when I first got involved, there was about 35,000 distributors. So after about 5 years, we're about right here. So still a massive opportunity. Even if we're up here as a stabilized company, like I said, 330 million people in the United States. So this is going to be an awesome opportunity for a long time, to be honest, because there's billions of people in the world. We're in 10 different countries. But really, it's just to get in early like this is where the magic happens. I've heard stories through the industry of people that have gone involved in companies like Nu Skin. In '89, they were doing about $4.5 million, a little bit plateaued, $4.5 million a month through the distributors. In '89 to '92, they went from $4.5 to $50 million a month in sales. So they went through this critical mass in branding, and people that were involved were either making $5,000, they went up to $100,000 just in that huge burst. So that's where the urgency relies, is because if you're going out and talking about any new product and service, and it's a new topic that people don't really know about, like for instance, like the cryptocurrency or like the oxidative stress, that's a unique opportunity, and that's where you can really benefit from the early standpoint of that company. So timing is huge. So we got 2 more little components, and I'll wrap this thing up. So the system is awesome. I'll very quickly cover the system. It's just like this, right? So when you get started in this, you want to go out and share this business model with 15 people a month. A lot of people are working full-time jobs, So why 15 plans is a month is important is because usually out of 15 people, you have a few people, depending on how influential you are in your network, that see the product or the business. So out of those 15 plans, you're going to have someone that really sees the benefit in it. Another thing that we promote that's heavily important is the events. The events are non-negotiable, as my mentors would say. Why is the events non-negotiable? Because the people that have made it to the top of this company are going to train you at these events. So if you're looking to make a couple hundred, 1,000, $5,000, 10 grand, 50, 100, you can learn from the people that have already made it. It's just like learning from a master in any industry or craft you're trying to learn. Okay? And something in business that do what you say you're going to do, right? That's really important in business. So if you're working with your mentor and you're calling people and setting up appointments, make sure you call these people at the time you said you're going to call them. So that's an easy thing that we all know in business. So really, it's all about the most important thing in my eyes is going out and showing these 15 plans with the events and obviously taking our products. You don't want to be going out there and talking about something that you're not already taking because that's a little bit fake. So it's really important to be a product of the products, especially with your distributors. If you're enrolling people, if you're taking it, they'll take it. And that's what starts to create that duplication effect. So those are just a couple things in these in the system that's worked for me, that's worked for any of the people that have been successful in the company. So the system works. The last thing is compensation. A couple ways to get involved. One could be just taking product. You see the value in taking product. Pro Tandem, like I first talked about, is $40 a month. That's about $1.33 a day to slow down the aging process. And if you added the other products in there, it's about between $5 and $10 a day. That might seem like a lot, but really you live one day at a time. To add that type of value each day, to see the type of benefits that we've seen with people taking it is worth every cent. It really is. So we can talk to you a little bit more about that after the presentation. But from a business standpoint, a couple ways to get involved. You can do the $350, you can do the $650, you can do the $1,250, 3 different ways. I like to talk about this way because, you know, people that start a business for $350, sometimes that's all they can start with. We meet people wherever they decide to come in. But I like to talk about this because you're kind of all in at that point. You're in the highest pack, and no matter what pack you do, you're going to do the same work. So when you're signing people on this pack, it's $100. This pack, $200. This pack, $400, right? You're signing people up. So why do the same amount of work and make less money? So a lot of people are going to duplicate what you're doing, right? So that's why we try to promote the Platinum Pack. But what's unique about that is you get $1,000 worth of product, you get hundreds of dollars worth of marketing material, and you get your own website and virtual office. So what's unique about that is that you don't have to drive around and sell product anymore. You could be signing people up in different countries. And that's very unique because if you're calling people, you have friends, say you're in the New Hampshire area or the Boston area, and you know people in North Carolina or Wisconsin, wherever they may be, you can call these people, show them the video, put them on the phone with someone that's a little bit more experienced, and have them tell them about the products in the company and let them do the educational process of those 15 plans. And if they see what we see, and they see the value in this, and they want to get involved, they would just go to your website and sign up. And you can have everybody sign up. And anyone you sponsor, they get their own website and virtual office. So you're starting to create a ripple effect of everyone using the websites. So you can do that in 10 different countries. Just think about that. So sidetrack a little bit. The average pay for a business in the United States, a small business, is $68,000. And usually you can only sell products in that area, right? But in this case, you can sell products all throughout the world because of that. So it's very unique. So I'm going to talk about how you get your money back, what's called your ROI, return on investment. Okay? So you spent the $1,250. How do I get it back? Well, this is you. You're pumped. You just started your own business, right? So you're going to go out, and we're going to go start showing 15 people a month. And out of those 15 plans, someone's going to see it, hopefully, right? Everybody's number is different. So I'm going to stop right here. After you enroll your first 3 people, 4 times 3 is 12. That's $1,200, right? You've already made back your initial investment. Like I just said, it's $68,000 to start a small business in the United States. So 3 people, you've already made back your business. 68 grand, that might take a couple years to make. Even if this takes you a year to make, who cares? You've made your investment back. Now we can start working on the leverage and literally helping them do the same thing. Anyone that enrolls on the product, on the business path, or just taking product is 40% up front. That's a lot of money. And then they get thrown into a unilevel where it's 2%, 5%, 9%, all the way down. And what's cool about this too, anyone you sponsor, the company matches you 10% of their royalty check. And that goes down 5 levels. That's 3 different ways they're going to pay. So you're getting paid more money to help that person be successful, not to just sponsor them and kick them to the curb. You really want to help them grow their check, because the bigger their check makes your check. And that was something that really drove me to this company, is because I want to be an entrepreneur. But if I can help other people become an entrepreneur, that makes it even better. So that's a little bit of how we get paid. The last one I want to show you is what brings me here tonight. 10 ranks in the company, 1 through 10, very simply, right? So 10 ranks. So once you start hitting the 7th rank out of the 10 ranks, you're what's called an elite distributor. And what they're going to do, and when you become an elite distributor, is throw you in a pot. They take 4% of global revenue every single month. So once you become a pro 7, 8, 9, or 10, you get 1% of global revenue. So think about this for a second. $200 million company, 4% each month. Once you hit pro 7, you get paid off all the work these people have done, right? So that can be a decent amount of money, right? And you're getting paid off every single bottle of Protanum sold in the world, or any of these products. Once you hit this elite rank, you're getting paid off everyone's work before you and every bottle of product sold in the world. When you hit pro 8, 2%, pro 9, 3%, and then the pro 10s get 4% of global revenue. So what's really cool about that is that it really helps everyone in the company work together. It's not where it doesn't matter where you end up in the whole company's network. Essentially, we're looking to become not just a billion-dollar company, but a multi-billion-dollar company. So we really want to work together and help everybody be successful. So it doesn't matter whose organization you are. For instance, I don't directly benefit from JoJo. She's not in my organization, but I know we're both going to be elite distributors and get paid off each other one day. So that's why we work so closely together and love to work this business model, because once you're elite, the whole company's your downline, right? Everyone's your organization. And if the further you want to go, the more money you're going to make, the more people you help, the more money you make. So that's my presentation tonight. Really, essentially, after learning about it, it might be a lot of information at first. We have some great resources to learn a little bit more. If you see this from a product standpoint, great. If you see this from a business standpoint, awesome. Either way, I was glad I could spend my time with you and teach you something that you might have not known about before. So thank you so much.